And you two have a very interesting story to share with the world. And I know they've been doing a lot of vlogs and things, and they have a YouTube channel. We'll be sharing that information with you as well, as far as how you can catch up with them. But first of all, tell us how you guys met.
That's the point. We never met.
You never met?
We never met.
Oh my goodness.
We met at the altar.
What?
But anyway, let him tell us how they arranged our marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my parents have been missionaries here in Kenya since the late 1980s, and our family moved here in 2005.
And they moved from where?
From the Philippines. Yeah, we're from the Philippines. And we work with the ministry of her parents, so we got to know their family.
Okay.
It's only that me and her, we did not meet each other. I knew her siblings, she knew mine, but us personally as individuals, we never met.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And
then what happened?
so then my mom,
Like whose idea was this?
my mom was a culprit mostly, and she was good friends with her mom, who's also a bishop here in Kenya.
Yeah.
And she said, I have an idea. Why don't your daughter marry my son?
Oh my gosh.
And then what did
This
you
wasn't
say?
one of those women's ministry parking lot things, like it was a joke and then
Yes.
someone took it too seriously. They were being serious?
It
Well,
started
his
with laughs.
family do that. They do that.
Yeah, my family has been doing it for all of my siblings. All of us are arranged. So it
Okay.
wasn't as hard for me as it was for her,
Right.
because my older siblings have done it, and they're still happily married up to this day with lots of kids. All
Wow.
of them, yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So let's come to you then, Liz.
Yeah.
How did your mom break this news to you?
Well, she had gone for his sister's wedding in the Philippines.
Okay.
And so while she was there, that's when she broke it. Oh, we're interested in your daughter for our son who should be married next. And so she called me when she was in the Philippines. Oh, Liz, I think they're considering you for their son, Solomon. I'm like, who is Solomon? And what makes you think that I can't find myself a man? Like,
Right.
are you serious?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mommy, please, just leave me alone. I can find myself. Wanaume Kenya wajeisha, those manenos. And
So at this point, you are in the Philippines?
Yes, I had gone back to the Philippines. I lived here from 2006 to 2009.
Okay.
I left for university in the Philippines, and I was there when this whole thing was happening.
Oh my gosh. So he wasn't even in the same country?
no, we're not in the same country.
Yikes. Okay.
And so I go on Facebook, we're in the world of Facebook. I'm like, Solomon Ocampo. I see his picture. I'm like, nah. Are you all kidding me?
With this face.
She didn't see it.
I did not.
Oh, no.
But same to him. He showed my picture and he said, no, please, I don't want a black woman. Nothing.
No. Let's be very careful. That's not what I said. I said my only request is I want to marry a wife, to have a wife who's a Filipina. I didn't say not
Filipina,
black. Just
okay.
I'm very
Are
patriotic.
there black Filipinos?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So we were clearly not each other's taste.
Right.
And so I completely blocked the idea and said, please don't put me in your things with your friends. You do your things. And so as time went by, for some reason, we got to do a vacation as a family in the Philippines, because my mom, when she went for the sister's wedding, she really liked the country, and like, you
Okay.
guys must see this country, 7,000 islands, it's
Yeah.
beautiful, you must see it. And so in 2012, we went as a family for the vacation.
Okay.
But when we arrived in the airport, everybody's like, that's Liz. I'm like, what's up with people? Because their family now was welcoming us on
Okay.
board, and so they kept on jesting, you guys. But at that time, I was dating in Kenya, and I didn't.
You were dating somebody else?
Yes, I was dating, so I didn't want these jokes. Me, I've come for vacation. Please, I have a reputation. I'm a pastor. I don't have time for jokes of complicated relationships. You're going to ruin my reputation.
Right.
And so. At the end of the vacation, his father, because I was like, this is a mother thing. If the father...
I know. I'm like, where are the dads?
Exactly. My dad has nothing to do with this.
Oh yeah, he's not into this arranged marriage
yeah?
thing. He's all about find your love.
Okay.
Yes.
So he wasn't going with this plan.
No. He even had no idea. He wasn't told.
Okay.
And so at the end of our vacation, we had farewell party, and so the whole congregation, his family is also their pastors, and so they're wishing us farewell, come back to Kenya. And so I see his father stand up in front of the whole congregation, and he says, I want to betroth my son Solomon. I'm like, oh wow, this is gonna be interesting. Let us see who this is. You know. And so in front of the whole congregation, Solomon come up, and Solomon came up and he's like, to Liz Muyu. I'm like, wait,
What? You're
what?
dating somebody else?
I'm like, wait. People, hold up. You know, so I stand up and I'm betrothed while I'm dating.
Whoa, lo. This story is crazy. I don't know what else to say.
It is crazy.
This story is crazy.
So I came back to Kenya. The first thing I did, of course, was call my boyfriend and just break it off.
Akia
I'm
Nani,
like,
now you've broken some guy's heart.
Imagine.
Solomon, that's one we have to put on you. Kenyan
I
men are
know.
not happy with you.
I
That's
know.
not correct. This guy did nothing wrong.
There's nothing
Imagine.
wrong.
Akia Nani. So you took it seriously from there.
No,
guess
no,
even
I didn't
for-
take it seriously from there. I did not.
But you broke up with your boyfriend.
I broke it off because now I'm in a complicated situation. People in
Okay.
Philippines know I'm betrothed to the prophet's son.
You know, some
The prophet's son.
some
telling
people
you.
come home with a keychain as a souvenir, and she
Right.
came home with a man.
Imagine.
Imagine.
To the husband
I'm
and your
betrothed. Imagine.
Ati, how's your vacation?
things
I'm
you-
engaged.
Some
things
people
you
just get a
watching,
t-shirt.
Yeah, things you read in the Bible were happening to me.
Oh no.
So anyway, I didn't take it seriously from them. But clearly, the guy wasn't my taste. I didn't know him, was a stranger, and we didn't talk. The entire time I was on a vacation there, he was in university, and
So
as
you
we
didn't
were-
even see each other there?
you know, from a distance, but we
Okay.
didn't talk
Okay.
because guys were making fun of us, so it was irritating.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't want to be in a complicated
I
situation.
cannot imagine like being in that situation. I'd be so mad.
She was mad.
I was.
Even at my mom. Like I was just like, Mom, what are you doing?
I
Like,
know.
slow it down. Did your mom know you were dating somebody here? Did you tell her?
I don't think she knew. No, she didn't.
Maybe
know.
you were worried
We
it
were not
would've-
that serious.
Okay.
We were serious, but you know, with my mom, you have to take things slowly.
Right. Okay. Wow. I want to hear about the reaction of, because I guess this is maybe a custom that your family was used to. So maybe your friends, relatives, they were already kind of
Yes.
in the loop and understood it. How did your friends react to this?
I did not tell my friends until I started my YouTube channel. They did not know I was in an arranged marriage. So,
So all your bridesmaids and whatnot, like they were
all my
just-
bridesmaids were just really, really close friends and my sisters.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So okay, they had an understanding, but
Yeah.
everybody else.
My
didn't know.
bridesmaids were with me in the vacation, so
Okay.
they saw me being betrothed. So that's why I just brought that exact same
witnesses.
group during my wedding.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you, how have you sort of like, how did you come to terms with this and sort of accept this? I mean,
It
this
took me
is just
2
not
years.
Kenyan at
Yes,
all.
it's not Kenyan at all.
And then we're here, it's like, you know, it's 21st century.
Yes, exactly. Like-
How did you kind of react to this? I really want to hear her response to this when we get back from this break. And more so, I just want to know who else would do this situation. Even if, you know, there are people who say they've been waiting for someone for a long time. If the Lord decides to bless you with a spouse in this way, are you going to do it? Arranged marriage. Mkutane tu hapo usikie tu your name being tajwa that Muriuki, you're now going to marry Samantha. I'd love to hear if you guys would actually take this on. Sijui nitaje majina za watu hapa, hata mimi nikuwe prophet. Lynette, you're going to marry Carol Thuo, you're going to... Anyway, let's go on break, guys. We'll be back. We'll be back after this. Hey guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. I'm here with Liz Muyu and Solomon Ocampo, and they're a married couple. Married for how long now?
6 years.
6 years. You have three
Three
kids.
kids, 3 children.
3 kids between them, and it's very interesting just kind of learning about how they met, actually through an arranged marriage. Their mothers orchestrated this whole thing. Watu wa kanisa. Hey. But Liz, you were explaining to us how you've gone on vacation in the Philippines with your
Mm-hmm.
family. Kidogo kidogo, you're hearing your name hapo in the front.
Imagine.
Not for a miracle,
Imagine.
not for thunderous blessings,
I'm telling you.
but to tell you, by the way, you're marrying this guy.
Kabisa.
And that time you're dating somebody else here in
Yes,
Kenya.
Yes.
So you came back, broke up with them. So now your window, you have an opportunity. Did you
Yes.
dive in for the chase?
That's my mistake. I dilly-dallied, I procrastinated, and then she got impatient and told me I was wasting her time, which I was for 2 years. She was like, nothing's happening. There's no
Well,
wedding
it
planning.
wasn't 2 years. It was just a few months.
Oh,
I
a
was
few
like,
months, sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
if we're gonna get married, try to get to know me, and
Yeah.
he didn't, and so
So you were just like, a wife has already been found
yeah,
for me. I'm not going to
that's
do
the
any
thing
work.
with his family, right? You know, they find your, oh yeah, okay, he just sits back. I'm the prophet's son. My wife has been found, and that's not how I expect. I'm like, hey, my friend,
Okay.
you will pursue me.
So you actually broke off this.
Yes, I did. I broke it
Engagement.
off after a few months. I saw it's just wasting my time. I'm on the market. I'm in my 20s. At that time, I was in my 20s. And like, I
Yeah.
need to get back on the market. So I called his parents and told them, please, this thing is off. And they talked, his mom talked for hours until I pulled the phone, like, this woman can talk.
Oh, no.
And so, yeah, after that, I just, you know, did it, went on Facebook and wrote, I am single.
Oh my God. So funny story is then, this was years ago. I met Liz at a wedding of a mutual friend. And Liz is uko there. You know when it's time to throw the bouquet? This babe had psych for catching the bouquet. So she's uko trying to pull me. Let's go catch the bouquet. I'm like, that time I was already kind of dating and I wasn't going to be public with it. But she's like literally dragging
You
me
were
by the
so
arm
stiff.
to
I'm
go,
like,
and she's like, are you? I'm like, I'm already taken. She's like, Amani, it's a ring you've bought for yourself. And I was just like, who is this chick? I was like, no. But she had a lot of psych to catch that bouquet. Turns out that was around the time that she had just broken off the
Yeah,
engagement
yeah.
with you.
I saw that Facebook post she wrote. She wrote there, I am single. So I was just shocked. I'm like, I can see my bride flying away. I commented. I'm like,
Runaway
really?
bride.
Wow.
when he
Did you
commented,
really comment
yes,
really well?
he did. And so I blocked him. I was like, this guy's gonna
Yeah.
block my blessings.
Oh my God.
So I was like,
Yeah, this marriage of you guys is too funny. It's like a telenovela. So you blocked him.
yes,
Now,
yes.
what are your
I-
hopes? Because
Imagine if somebody came and wrote, I love you, on, hey, Liz, I love you, and to pursue you. See, he would have written, H. I'm like, no, this guy's gonna block my future.
So you're in the Philippines, she's here in Kenya, and now she's blocked you.
Yes, I was incommunicado, couldn't talk to her, so I kept pursuing her for like 3 serious seasons of pursuing her, and she was very firm. When she makes up her mind, up to this day, she's
Yeah,
firm.
I
Yeah,
can
so she was done, and so she started looking. And tell us about your dating time.
Oh, yeah, you went on to date other people.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
did.
You
I
were very
dated.
serious
I was
about
very
this.
serious about dating. I mean about courting. Like.
Yeah.
So I did, because I was a pastor. I've been a pastor for 13 years, and at that time your life is on the limelight, especially if you're a young single lady pastor. Like there's no time for mistakes. And also I was only dating pastors because I needed a spiritual head.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to be in my house and hey, me ndo pasi. So during that time I realized like my purity standards were not being met.
Okay.
Like I'll be telling a pastor and he's like, atuachie hizo kwa pulpit. I'm like,
Aya.
eh.
Masi wanafanyanga hizo vitu.
Imagine. And these are young pastors I'm dating. You know,
Wololo.
youth pastor of this church, youth pastor of that church, worship pastor of this church, and big churches, you know. And so I realized, so I went back to my closet, you know, prayer closet. I'm like, God, I need a man who has higher purity standards than I. Like that was my standard. Like this has to be the basic.
Okay.
This has to be my foundation.
Yeah.
And so during that time of prayer, the Lord reminded me of the Ocampos and their purity standards.
Please tell me you were on a mountain somewhere. Like, had you gone to the mountain? To pray for her, forgot to open her eyes. So God reminded you about him.
Yes, reminded me of his family. Like,
Uh-huh.
because these guys, they don't even greet you when you're betrothed. Like, you don't even hug.
Oh.
Like, nothing of that. Like, their
Wow.
purity standards on another level.
Okay.
And which are definitely higher than mine. I
Yeah,
did not
yeah.
hugging, like,
Yeah.
kissing, what are those?
Yeah.
So anyway, I unblocked him. But you know, when somebody's unblocked, they don't know.
Okay.
So I sent him a message. I'm like, hi.
Now you're the one crawling back.
No, I'm not scrolling back. I just want to see where this will go.
Okay. Okay.
Because he's still not my type. You know?
Yeah.
It's not just the Lord reminding me, this guy has higher purity standards. What are you praying for? Stand
Okay.
up.
Okay. Okay.
From you. So during that time, so the next thing he replied me was, what's your ring size?
Ah.
I'm like,
Hey, boss, come slowly, man. This you've just been on
I
vlogs.
know.
Like you need to
this was
slow
his
it
mother
down.
orchestrating all this. It wasn't him.
Yes.
This
Remember, it
his
was my
mother.
mom who
This is
arranged
still
the whole
not
thing.
him. This is
Yeah.
still not him. He still doesn't want a black
So my
woman.
mom told me, how do you feel about giving it one last chance and try to persuade Liz? I told her, oh, no problem. How do you feel about flying all the way to Kenya to do that? I said, that would be great. Tomorrow. I'm like, wait.
Okay.
Why don't we plan this thing so I can stay longer and enjoy the country? She's like, no, just go over there. So the next thing I know, I packed my things quickly, went on a plane the next day. I came here Friday. Yes.
Wow. With a ring.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the
Me, I'm
story.
just
Also,
asking.
you Djibouti.
Me and Djibouti say 7. And we left it at that.
Okay.
That Friday night, his sister-in-law, who lives here in Kenya, tells me, Liz, I want to bring you a cake. I'm like, okay. So she comes over. I notice she's with her kids, her husband. I'm like, you're bringing me a cake with all these guys.
Right.
And she's like, oh, yeah. So she enters the house. I'm like, where's the cake? She's like, let me go get it. So she goes to the car. She comes back with this guy.
Surprise!
I'm the cake.
Surprise! I'm like, oh, wait, what? You know, when I'm still, and then I ask him, you came all the way, are you going to ask me to marry you? For sure. He kneels down and
Oh
asks
my
me to-
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knelt down and proposed, and then I said, will you marry me? She was not saying yes. And all the family members were there, the brothers and sisters, the
Oh,
mom,
no.
they were shocked. So she didn't say yes for a good 2 minutes. So I had to ask her again, will you marry me?
Oh
And
no.
what did you say?
Eventually I said yes, but
Okay.
I didn't mean it. Like, I didn't want to embarrass him. There were too many people in the living room.
Yeah.
His family, my family. I didn't want to embarrass him. So I just said yes, so he can stand up, get up, go. You know, and then I tell him, by the way, I was joking.
Oh no. So what did you do afterwards?
So afterwards, yes. So when I'm going to tell him, my family now crowd me. Hey, congratulations! Let's see the ring. I tell him, no, you guys, there's nothing like this. No, I'm going to heartbreak him. And my brother holds me. He's like, yo, you don't do that to a man. Like, these guys are great. They are going to treat you right.
Wow.
The family, because we're just generalizing them, the
Yeah.
Campo family.
Yeah.
And so I was like, anyway, okay, let me just see where it will go. This is really becoming a family thing now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. So you then opened up to actually dating him?
No, we
Or
didn't
courting,
date.
Courting. I mean,
No, we didn't court.
So you just started planning, but you.
We
it's like you
started
are not-
planning the wedding.
But you weren't sure.
I wasn't sure
You
at
walked
all.
down the
Even when
altar
I'm
without
planning the wedding,
emotions.
I'm not sure.
You walked down the altar
Without emotion.
With
You were not in
no
love with
feelings,
each
no
other.
emotions, no nothing. Me, even I was walking down the aisle to his mother. I'm like, me, I can live with this mother.
So we got married without liking each other or
Are you
being
kidding
in love
me?
with each other.
Yes,
Yes.
from the moment we got engaged, the next 2 days, his mother flew me to Philippines to plan the wedding. But he was still in university, so I wasn't seeing him. So I'm planning the wedding with her.
Let me get this straight. This is all happening literally within 5 days.
Yes.
You've just unblocked the guy.
Yes.
His response is, "What's your ring size?"
Yes.
The next night he's in Kenya, has
Yes.
proposed.
Yes.
2 days later you're in Philippines to
Yes.
go plan the wedding with
Imagine.
the mother-in-law, and you're not even sure about
Yeah,
getting.
I was not sure.
This is nuts. This beats telenovelas. Seriously. Oh my gosh. So you planned this wedding. It was happening where, in the Philippines?
It has happened in the Philippines, yes.
And so you've walked down the aisle, really not sure about this decision.
Oh yeah,
Were
even my
you
dad kept
convinced,
on
though?
telling me that, you know, we can go back to Kenya. You don't have to do this. I'm like, Daddy, let's just do this.
Your mom has power. Guy, Paka, your dad is saying you can go back to Kenya.
Like, let's
And
go.
were you feeling this? Like, was it now like a romance thing for you, or
No,
you were
not
kind of
yet.
just going with what your mom was saying?
Mentally, I knew that she was going to be my wife. I knew that. I accepted it because even though it was arranged marriage, we were given a choice. It's not like you don't have a choice.
Okay.
It's completely up to you.
Okay.
And so I chose to follow it just because I trusted my father and my mother, who were spiritually grounded. Actually, I don't recommend this arranged marriage to
I was
other
about to
people.
say, like, do you
yes,
recommend
because
this to other
no,
people?
not at all. Because people can manipulate you for money, for
Totally.
convenience, for status. So unless you really trust someone's spiritual north star,
And you guys' families had a history
yes,
together.
they're very grounded.
Please, Aki, my dear full circle people. Usiende mkadanganywe ati sijui who has said they're
No, no,
Lynette,
no, no.
please.
Be very careful. So we actually started dating after the wedding.
Yes.
That's when we started dating.
Wow.
So we went on our first date.
So how did you then sort of build on the love? Like, because clearly this is started, I mean, marriage in itself is a huge commitment. I mean, even for people who fall in love and
Yeah.
then court and, you know, choose to get married on their own without anybody's influences, you're still nervous walking down the
Oh,
aisle.
yes.
Like, there's a whole bunch of emotions. How did you guys then sort of cultivate love? Like, and now you're in it. Then are your prophet's kid, bishop's kid. There's no exit clause here.
Yeah,
Like,
and
the
there's no
time-
divorce in the Philippines
Oh,
Yeah.
like by law?
Yes.
by law.
Oh,
So it's for life.
wow. So even if we wanted to have an exit clause, you couldn't have an
They
exit
couldn't,
clause.
yes.
Oh my gosh, this. So how did you then kind of cultivate love? Because I trust that now you guys are, of course, in love,
Oh,
and
yes,
you have
very
3 kids
much.
between you. How did that happen? And how did you sort of soften your heart towards him?
Well, like he said, the words his parents used, like his father told me, he's been praying about this. He was praying and fasting for, I think, 3 weeks. And the Lord gave him specific words. I created Liz for Solomon. So those words stuck with me. I'm like, if this man was created for me, and God, we trust God to choose everything, but not the important things in life. And marriage is a very important thing. And if I'm so clouded because I have my list, you know, my TDH, blah, 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 all those things, then I will not see God's choice for me. And
right.
clearly this guy had nothing to do with my list. And so clearly God knew what I needed, which
Yeah.
I thought I needed. And what I thought I needed is not what I needed.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
as we've gone through these 6 years, clearly he was created for me. Like, to deal with all my nonsense, you have to have been created for me.
Oh my gosh.
So after the wedding, for sure, like we said, we had started having our first dates. Our first kiss was at the altar.
Yeah.
And so, you know, feelings start coming slowly, but you see, it's, you know, first year
Aki,
of
that
marriage
must
is
have
still
been a
hard.
very strange honeymoon.
Very.
Our honeymoon was with our parents.
Oh,
These 2 parents who decided.
And her siblings.
oh
It was
no.
a family
Those
vacation.
ones ended at the first 2 days.
She had to kick them out. Like, we want to go on a honeymoon. Get out.
No, his parents were so excited to show my parents and our honeymoon package was great, so why not
Yeah.
join in? So we had
Family
both parents.
vacation.
It was a family vacation.
They were next
exactly.
door.
And so
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh my
so-
goodness. Wow. I'm even in shock. Like, I don't even know what else to ask. But I have never heard a story like this one, other than what I see on TV. And I think what's just so bewildering is the fact that it's a Kenyan. You know what I mean? Like, these are just things we don't usually tend to see. But